AOC couldn't even bluff her way through. Confidence this time.
I'm sorry, I'm just having a tough time. And so we are looking, and so we're...
What should have been an easy slam dunk against a bank CEO ended up as a complete faceplant, with the Democrats' so-called rising star stumbling over her own questions. That's exactly why we're breaking this down today. No party cheerleading here, just straight common sense. So if you value independent thought, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it.
For your awareness, your banks have opted out of Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness,
Excuse me, that is incorrect.
With the portal with the SBA. Thank you. I was trying to finish my sentence. Now, I would like to zero in a little bit on Bank of America. Mr. Moynihan, are you aware of how many PPP loans your bank has facilitated on behalf of its customers?
About 400, almost 500,000, and 95% are forgiven or repaid already. And we're finishing up the rest of them.
How many of those loans, in terms of the percentage, have those loans been forgiven in full?
Here's the quick backdrop. The Paycheck Protection Program, better known as PPP, was a $670 billion rescue plan created under the CARES Act to keep businesses alive during the pandemic. The idea was simple. Hand out loans so companies could keep employees on the payroll, and if the money went toward approved expenses, the loan would be forgiven. Easy enough, right? According to a widely cited study, the program did have an impact, saving about 3 million jobs per week in the second quarter of 2020 and about 1.75 million per week by the fourth. But the same study also flagged a big problem. It was extremely expensive, and surprise, surprise, a hefty portion of the funds wound up padding business owners' pockets rather than strictly protecting workers. That's a whole rabbit hole for another video. For today, the relevant point is why AOC was grilling bank executives. Some banks, including Bank of America, were accused of being stingy with forgiveness, arguing certain businesses had received too much. The only hitch: AOC wasn't prepared for the pushback, and her questioning quickly unraveled into what looked like an unplanned comedy routine.
Bank of America had pre-populated a forgiveness amount in their portal, sometimes drastically lower than small business owners had anticipated and had qualified for. And in instances where these small business owners have documentation, there's very little recourse or appeal. Does your portal make it easy to appeal their decisions so that after 2 attempts, the SBA can then take over the case?
Borrowers can appeal. 95% of the loans are forgiven and repaid today, so we're only talking about 5% of the loans, and a substantial part of those are going through the appeal process as we speak. And so the borrowers can appeal, and we're in a process of finishing up that last 20,000 or so.
Sure, the CEO kept his composure, but let's not downplay the issue. Bank of America was actually hit with a lawsuit over this. If AOC had done her homework, she could have turned it into a golden ticket moment. Grill him hard, own the exchange, and walk out a headline machine. Instead, she basically karaoke read an Intercept article, almost word for word, but tried passing it off like she uncovered the dirt herself. That's the energy we're dealing with. From the moment she sat down, it was obvious she came looking for a viral clip. The tone, the posture, the delivery. It screamed, "Watch me drop the mic." She clearly thought she'd snag a slick gotcha or two and ride the dopamine wave of Twitter applause as the fearless people's champion. Spoiler: that script didn't just flop, it went straight into the shredder. And if you thought what we've covered so far was cringe, hang tight. The next question was an actual plot twist.
So is the 90, I apologize, not to, belabor the point, but is that 95% a partial loan forgiveness or a full loan forgiveness rate?
They're getting what the borrowers are applying for the forgiveness entitled in the program. 95% of them have gone through or repaid, and the vast majority of them are full forgiveness, but they're entitled to what the program designed. The government designed a program, and we implemented the program very short notice. 500,000 people, 10,000 people working on this program. And so we're finishing that up. It's just let the process go, and a lot of what you're reading, frankly, is not the facts because it's old. It doesn't understand how the math works, and so just give us some time, we'll give you the facts.
We're constantly told that banking math is too complicated for us regular folks to grasp. But this was one of those rare moments where a sharp, well-prepared lawmaker could have cut right through the smokescreen and nailed the issue. If AOC had done even the bare minimum of preparation, she could have exposed exactly what Bank of America was up to. Instead, she stumbled over her own shoelaces and let the opportunity slip away. And honestly, this isn't the first time she's missed her shot. Remember when Mark Zuckerberg sat in the hot seat after the Cambridge Analytica scandal? AOC threw out a handful of loosely connected questions about Facebook's ad policies. Zuck brushed them aside with vague, canned responses like he was swatting flies. Yet somehow, people labeled it a win. Spoiler, it wasn't. No answers, no accountability. Just noise packaged as progress. Fast forward to this most recent hearing, and history repeated itself. By the time Alexandria reached her big moment, her energy was already fading. Then came the question that felt less like a power move and more like her brain just blue-screened.
What is the reason that Bank of America chose to opt out of the SBA portal?
Whether, I told you before, I'm not sure we did or didn't, and I have no idea why they would have made the decision, but we are processing loans as fast as anybody.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm just having a tough time. This is about $25.2 billion in loan amounts in your bank, correct? And
Not anymore. No, it's down.
but at one point in time. And so we are looking, you're uncertain as to why the bank has not chosen to enroll in the SBA portal?
I said we will get you the information. The amount of loans we have left on this thing is a billion or so. It's down to very little amount.
No worries.
It's all paid back.
And if you think I'm being too harsh, even commentators from her own side have flagged this pattern. Just look at Bill Maher. He called it out on his show, pointing to the same recurring problem.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
That's the kind of brutal honesty we need more of. Looking back at that hearing, it serves as a perfect snapshot of why Congress feels broken today. The dysfunction is so baked in that even passing a routine spending bill turns into a last-minute circus act. Lawmakers drag their feet until the final hour, then scramble to look like heroes. That's not governing, that's survival by fingernails. Which leads to the bigger question. If we're serious about getting this country back on track, doesn't the reset have to start with Congress itself? Sure, fixing it wouldn't be easy. But that's the core of the problem. When a sitting lawmaker can't grasp the basics of how banks operate, especially after those very banks fueled one of the largest financial crises in modern history, that's more than just one individual's blind spot. It's a flashing warning sign. So where does that leave us? Maybe Congress gets serious and changes course. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, the direction we're heading demands the question be asked.